As I launched my invasion of the Persian Empire, I was under intense pressure to score an immediate victory, as I only had enough gold to pay my guys for another couple of weeks or so. See, my dad had spent most of our money building up the army from scratch. The little bit that had been left over, he'd blown on dancing boys and oil wrestling tournaments. Luckily, the area we were entering was rich as shit. You've heard of King Midas, right? That's this place.
When I found out that Alexander had crossed over into Asia, I told the local leaders to deal with him on their own. In hindsight, that was a mistake. Little piece of advice. Never entrust your empire's defense to the guy who's banging your daughter. Trust me on this one. I just received a message from the king, my father-in-law. Yes, we all know, dude. And he says, assholes, that the Macedonian invasion is still taking place. But I thought King Philip was murdered by a jealous former twink-bottom. I think it was actually a jealous former daddy chaser.
Either way, Philip's dead, but his son Alexander's taken over, and he might be even more dangerous than his dad was.
That's Memnon of Rhodes, the only Greek on my war council. Great guy. He pushed for a scorched earth policy because Alexander was broke as hell and needed to steal our stuff, or else he'd have to go back home. But did those assholes listen? Spoiler alert. No. This is our damn land, and we're not burning down jack shit, you olive-eating, child-molesting Greek coward.
Wow, that's freaking racist.
Buddy, this is 334 BC. Everyone's a fucking racist.
Hey man, how many male heirs to the throne are even left after Alexander?
There's only one left. Aridaeus the Donkey Brain.
Shit. Then why don't we just kill Alexander and buy off the donkey brains with balloons and puppies and shit? Boom. Problem solved. No more invasion.
Kill Alexander? That's your plan? Holy shit, you guys are the ones with the damn donkey brains. Look, I know what you're thinking, but back in those days, donkey brain was actually the scientific term for a developmental disorder. Age of Enlightenment, this was not. Rumor has it that when Alexander was born, his mother went and poisoned little toddler Aridaeus, Philip's only other son, and it trapped the boy's mind at the age of 3, thus thrusting Alexander to the front of the succession line. Oh, give me a break. You think my mother would actually poison a little kid just enough to keep him out of the spelling bee, but not enough to actually kill him?
Now that you mention it, your mother really would have just straight up killed the kid, so I guess I stand corrected.
Once I got word that the Persians were planning to fight us, I convened my war council to decide what strategy to take. Alright, what's the situation here?
The scouts were reporting that the Persian army is camped out on the other side of the Granicus River, Alexander.
I think we should wait it out and see what the enemy does before committing to battle.
That's Parmenion, my dad's top general. I had to keep him on because the army was loyal to him, but personally, I couldn't stand the cautious old bastard, or his arrogant prick of a son, Philotas.
I agree with my dad. I definitely think we should wait it out.
I wish I could agree with my dad, but he got murdered by the exact same people you're now saying we should just bend over and give away the initiative to. Sometimes it felt like I was waging 2 wars. One against the Persians and one against my dad's old generals. Anyway, I decided to fight it out right then and there. Whatever happened would happen. We deployed across the river from the Persians, who outnumbered us like 2 to 1.
Come on now, you know that's bullshit.
Can I tell one story without this dude fact-checking me? Just one?
So here's a perfect example of how stupid my son-in-law was.
He lined up all the horsemen right there in the riverbank, all while sticking my precious Greek mercenaries far off in the rear.
Do you know how big of a waste that was? Put it this way. I didn't forego gold dust enemas for 7 months, just so my idiot son-in-law could stick the most expensive troops in the world on the back row. I mean, come on, man.
I set up my army with old man Parmenion leading the cavalry on my left, the invincible phalanxes in the middle, and me on the right with the light infantry and companion cavalry as my strike force. Before we attacked, though, I rode in front of my troops and clanged my sword against their spears. Those guys go crazy for that shit for some reason. So here's my strategy. Kind of like a football team that fakes in one direction to draw the defense away from where they actually want to go. I'm going to send bitch-ass Philotas across first to get knocked out by all the Persians that swarm to stop him.
thus opening a gap in their defenses that I can then hit myself and allow the phalanx to get across the river. Little did I know that the Persian strategy was simply kill me.
Come on, boys, let's go. Kill the Alexander. Kill the Alexander. Kill the Alexander. Kill the Alexander. Oh, crap. Oh.
Kill the Alexander. Oh, so close.
So yes, technically, I got knocked the fuck out. But that was only after the Persian leadership had all been killed off.
Which triggered a panic in the Persian lines that quickly gave way to a full-on rout.
Look, I know the whole dynamic of this thing is supposed to be confrontational, but truly, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank you, Alexander, for spearing my son-in-law in the face. Man, I smiled so big when I heard the news, so thank you for that. I really appreciated it.
Okay. Anyway, it was an ugly win, but a win nonetheless.
Unfortunately, Memnon of Rhodes escaped with his troops, so off we went in hot pursuit.